So this is the test that everyone, including me, thought wouldn't happen. Well,
It took a while to get these cars together. Proper factory cars, with some support for a 3-day shoot. I won't run you through all the politics because it ebbed and flowed as these things always do, but the main sticking point was rubber. You see, McLaren will supply P1 owners with a super sticky Pirelli P0 Trofeo R and the more normal Corsa tyre for the road. But Ferrari only has a Corsa for its car, so it was clearly keen to only have McLaren run on the normal tyre. And this is how we solved that problem.
Now this is actually a much more important aspect of this test than anyone will realise. I know we're all setting up now, but over there, quite amazingly, are 2 sets of Pirelli P0 Corsas, which have been supplied by Pirelli. They've not come from McLaren or Ferrari, they are control tyres. I think that's a really important element of this test, so there's no internet debate whatsoever. I've probably cut short the piston heads thread by about 700 pages. Ferrari are not using bent tyres and nor are McLaren, and neither company, importantly, had anything bad to say about it. They immediately said that's absolutely fine, and I hijacked them with it about 10 minutes ago. That's why they're all walking around looking at them. It's brilliant, isn't it? Here we are in Portimao at an independent tyre fitters, unloading tyres. So we're going to de-rim those scrubbed Pirellis and put on a control fresh set and do exactly the same for the McLaren as well. So don't say we're not going to great lengths to make sure this is fair, because we are.
Watching the faces of the people from the local Portimao tyre fitters as a lot of men wearing official McLaren and Ferrari clothing appeared, brandishing massive wheels and tyres, was very amusing. Rubber sorted, it was on with the show. This film exactly reflects the order in which we shot the actual film. I mean, you can't skid a 918 for 2 days and then expect it to set its best lap time, can you? So we did the lap times first. I drove them for a bit of slidey time to discuss how they all actually feel behind the wheel, and then 2 very special guests joined me for a 3-way track battle. How did we know they were standard cars? Well, I've driven several examples of all 3, so I could deploy my super sensitive bottom as an investigative device, but we had a full race logic setup on each car, so if they started pulling unnaturally fast acceleration times, we'd call them out. The cars were standard. Of that, I'm very, very confident. The 918 is a battle bus of a hypercar, and it's built like nothing else. It is the most complicated car here. It uses a 608 horsepower V8 alongside 2 motors acting on the front wheels, adding another 286 horsepower to give a possible 894 horsepower that can be delivered through all 4 wheels. It's the heaviest car here at 1640 kilograms. The transmission is a 7-speed dual clutch, and the tyres are Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s. It has full torque vectoring, uses regenerative braking to help charge its battery, and is the only car that can complete a full lap on electric power alone. Here's the onboard of the full lap. I'm not going to talk over it and ruin it, I'm just going to let you watch it. I'll do some talking about the 918 a little later. The way the process worked was this. I went out in each car and did one small session to get my best from that car. I then came in, looked at the data where I could, popped on a fresh set of tyres and went to set the time again. With the Porsche, there was no data, so I just set the time a second time. Ferrari is the most wanted of the three, arguably the most beautiful, certainly the most powerful, and the fastest in a straight line. It uses a version of the F12's stunning V12, outputting 800 horsepower with a separate electric motor adding 163 horsepower for around 963 horsepower output. It is rear-wheel drive. Like the Porsche and unlike the McLaren, it can charge its batteries using braking energy. It uses a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox, and like all of the cars here, is built around a carbon tub. The Ferrari factory shipped chief test driver and lovely bloke Raffaele Simoni to keep an eye on me. This wasn't his first trip to Portimao, however. He'd been here 2 weeks earlier, driving a LaFerrari, so the Scuderia knew exactly what or wasn't a decent lap time. They don't mess about, those boys.
Going back to school. If you had told the 17-year-old me that I'd be sitting here with Raffaele and some people from Ferrari as we discussed how to drive their latest, fastest car around Portimao, I would not believe you. I'm trying to be professional, but really what I want to do is just shout, "This is so f***ing cool." Keep you updated. I have to whisper because all the teams are there's a bit of McLaren there and some Ferrari there and some Porsche there. We've driven the Ferrari and the Porsche. I have a lap time on both. We need to be fair in terms of track temperature and everything else and tyre temperature. Everything's quite closely aligned, so it's critical. But I think we'll have one more go in the Porsche before the close of play. I don't think I'm going to go much quicker in the Ferrari because it's so powerful. It's moving around. It's a fantastic experience. Maybe I can trim 3-4 tenths, but I can't feel it at the moment. Now we're going to have a go in the McLaren. I'm looking forward to this.
The McLaren is the simplest of the three because its brakes do not provide regenerative power. It uses a 3.8-litre turbocharged V8 for a 737 horsepower output and adds 179 horsepower of electric drive. The gearbox is a 7-speed dual clutch, the Akabono brakes are quite different to the others, and the car weighs a claimed 1,395 kilograms, the lightest here. It also offers a race mode that drops the suspension 50mm and pushes up a huge wing. This is not road legal, as its rivals are very keen to point out, but this test isn't about being on the road, so the P1 is running close to the ground at all times. Here's the fast lap on the standard Corsa tyre.
It's like flat out around an amazing circuit in a car that's got a zillion horsepower and way more torque and power than it's got traction or grip. So you just, the whole thing's just up, and it feels like you're driving an old style racing car, but all the numbers are just much bigger, and the consequences are far, far worse if you get it wrong, because the numbers are bigger. That's why I've got my patented super dry Nomex shorts on and my Nomex hair on my legs. That's quite a ride, boys. That's quite a ride.
It always shocks me when I jump back.
That's fast. That's fast. And that kind of confirms what I'd always suspected after driving them separately. The McLaren is the smallest, the most nimble, nearly as potent as the Ferrari, and its race mode gives it a clear advantage. Even on the Corsa tyre, it was the fastest of the three. When we bolted on the Trofeo R, the P1 disappeared into another speed category altogether. So those are the times I set. I don't doubt that someone could go quicker, though not by much. I've been wanting to know which was the fastest for so long, but the result is actually both a bit of an anticlimax and even more remarkable than I'd thought possible. Because these cars are so evenly matched that just the smallest error on a single turn could make the difference between one being faster than the other. But to have three such different cars, three such different approaches separated by just 0.6 of a second over such a long lap that peaked at over 180 miles an hour is truly extraordinary.
If there's an odd one out, it's probably the Porsche, which sounds so strange because it has the tech description of the ultimate modern hypercar. But of course, it has electric motors that drive the front axle. It has full regenerative braking. I suppose it's the most corrupted driving experience, and yet the lap time it can extract beggars belief. So let's have a little chinwag about what it does. Again, like all the others, third gear in the hairpins because of the torque. You just come out, and this time, no hesitation. Even more traction than the Ferrari and the McLaren. Staggering. You jump out of the Ferrari into this, the first thing that gets you is the steering weight. I get a better sense of connection through the front axle with this car. The traction, wow. Engine doesn't sound as special, but it just keeps revving. So you get all that torque from the electric motors low down, and then you think at 7 it's all done, but it keeps going to about 9. It's relentless, absolutely relentless. It feels heavy, but it does things a car this weight shouldn't be able to do. Into this tricky third gear uphill left-hander, if I keep turning the wheel, because of the four-wheel steering and the torque vectoring, it somehow makes apexes that no other car can. Even the P1 and the LaFerrari can't match it in that respect, and yet this is heavier. Wow. Listen to the noise, pure motorsport, that engine. Down this long understeering right-hander and onto the main straight, let it run out. 250, count the numbers, 270, 280, 290, stamping hard on the brakes. As I said, the brakes feel the most corrupted of the three of them. The mass wants to rotate a lot of the time, so this is, for me, the least playful chassis. I feel I'm relying on the electronics in this car a lot more than the other two. So I tend to want to drive it at 9/10, and then it's so fast. Relentless. Gear shift, a little slower to respond than the Ferraris, a little slower, less dramatic, but perhaps just as effective. Wow. It's the ability to tighten its line that I find so staggering, because the mass tells you it shouldn't be able to. There it is, twitching away as usual. Now, with this thing, when you turn everything off, you basically put your bits in your own hands. So here we go. Let's turn everything off, see what it does. I won't lie, I find it a bit scary at times. You can just rotate it in like that, but if you let it get too far away from you, yeah, then you're kind of on your own. Let's see what we can do here. You're aware there's computers and people with big foreheads have been playing with things, and I'm not entirely sure what it's doing at times, but my, is it effective. It just gets better as well. It's better than the one I drove the year before. It's better than the one I drove the year before that. Wow. And the end. Yes, please. Yes, yes, please. Love the way that four-wheel steering gets me into every apex. It's a cheat of physics. And you can't help but feel that even though you're carrying extra mass, the net effect is you're probably quicker around the lap. How do you pick one of these things? I don't know, maybe like one chap in the UK, you just buy all three because they are so different in personality. There's a sort of weight to this car, not just to the overall vehicle, the mass, but there's a weight to the controls that perhaps I find easier than the Ferrari. And it's less up on its tippy toes than the Ferrari, but it's not quite as hunkered down as the McLaren. It sits in the middle ground. Michelin tyre is impressive too, so yes, quite a machine, given the spudder I thought it was going to be. Three cars that arrive at such a similar lap time and do it so differently. So the LaFerrari, this beautiful red thing. What are the differences? Why is this car so different to the others in the way that it drives? Well, first of all, the V12. Oh yes. It is a cut above. The others can't match this, just for majesty. The noise. The steering is much lighter than the others. It dances over the little curves. Sensational. Braking performance is great. Actually, the brake pedal for me is less easy to modulate than the McLaren's, and it hits the ABS earlier. Steering is the lightest of the three. The gear shift is the fastest of the three. It feels like it's going to do a wheelie. This is a hairpin. Give you an idea of the torque this thing has. It's a hairpin. I'm using third. Come out of here, just stamp on it. Wow. And then it revs out to 9. Hold it in here. Creepers. The straight line performance, I think, is the greatest here. It feels the fastest, but it also feels the most exciting. And now up this hill, I swear it's going to wheelie. Whoa! Whoa! Just hang on and enjoy it. But you can get the nose in when you want to. I've got the CT off, I've still got the ESP working, and it's helping me trim the line. But it's a car in which you manage the thrust everywhere. You really can only get the thing properly wide open in real straight lines. Otherwise it's you or the system's managing it. Steering's very light, but the chassis balance, given it's got a great big battery pack in it, is pure 458. It really is. Now this long right-hander at the end. Oh yes. Wide open. Look at the speedo, 260, 270, 280. I mean, I don't even look now, it's braking hard in the T1. Fourth gear through here. Now I wonder what happens if we turn the systems off. So this is third gear. Oh The balance, the chassis balance. Well, in some respects it's immaterial because you can just overcome everything whenever you want to with the power. This is third gear in a hairpin. I'm doing 10 miles an hour and yet... Wow. What a machine. Oh my lord. Yeah. I'd like to describe other feelings as good as that, but this is a family show. Lord! Wonder if we can just back it in here. This is a 1,000 horsepower Ferrari, and you can chuck it about like a flipping Elise. No, mate, that's not fair. I reckon it's a bit easier than an Elise. What a thing, what a thing. Okay, it feels more up on its toes than the others. Obviously it doesn't have the crazy low ride height of the McLaren, and it doesn't have the silly, well, the very clever torque vectoring, and it doesn't have the four-wheel drive of the Porsche. To me, even though it's an incredibly modern machine, it has this feeling of being almost like an old racing car, the old cars I race, because you're constantly managing the fact that it's got almost double the power that the rear tyres can handle. Wow. A truly memorable thing to drive. I don't know whether I should be sort of critiquing these things or just celebrating how amazing they are. And the blending of the electricity in with the combustion engine. So if there was a torque hole in that amazing V12, well, it doesn't exist now. You just bang. Never driven cars like these. No racing car, no nothing. Special thing. Special, special thing. Driving the P1 in its full track mode, so it's got the lowered suspension, the big wing up. Why wouldn't you? I'm also driving it on the Trofeo R tyre, which is not the road tyre, it's the track tyre. This thing, yes, has some legs on it. It really does. So let's see what it's like around Portimao. Fourth gear, turbocharger everywhere, whooshing and hissing behind me. Pickup everywhere, you can hear rattling off the inside of the car. Full beans down the straight, it bottoms out there. Now it's travelling. Braking hard again. I think this is the nicest brake pedal of them. I really enjoy it. It's got great resistance, a little bit longer but good feel. Steering in between the Porsche and the Ferrari for weight. Again, these little hairpins, third gear. Traction, well, remarkable given the amount of torque that's going on. And this is the car that benefits the most, I think, from that electricity blending with the internal combustion engine. The speed! God, are we really doing this test? To jump out of the Porsche and straight into this. This feels racier, this feels smaller, feels more nimble. But it feels like a conventional car, much more like a conventional car than the Porsche. I've got none of the assistance at the front axle, so it's a little more difficult to get it turned in, but then it's just alive. Really alive. Doing a wheelie there, and then through this really quick left-hander, you feel the downforce. I think if I wanted to come to Portimao and really show off the speed of a car and this circuit, I'd take the P1 of the three, because it just would make any passenger whoop with sheer astonishment, I think. Blimey. The handling, I still think it's the easiest handling McLaren. It's the fastest, but it has that lovely balance front to rear. Has less understeer in the quick stuff than the Ferrari. It doesn't have that noise that the Ferrari has, and it's so on the deck, it really is. That is I can't talk during that braking zone. But this car on these tyres in this chassis mode is something to behold. And then it will do all that stuff as well. When you want it to, it just has balance to spare. It really does. I love that. I love the fact that you can just use the torque. This has an open differential, so how does it do? How does it do that? I don't understand it. You can feel the little bit of brakey steery stuff going on, but it's so subtle. Yes, please. I'd like to do that for eternity, please. That's a super impressive machine. It's full of drama. It is eye-bendingly fast in the way that it accelerates, in the way that it stops, in the way that it'll carry speed in all types of corners, low, medium and high speed. It's a complete event. And I love the cabin, it's bare carbon, I love the low scuttle. This is the least intimidating cabin to be in because you've got such a great view out. Don't feel like I'm locked in some death trap. Either or in the other two, but this is special. Really special. I'm no mathematical genius, but you've been helping me out do the driving here. There's 3 cars, there's been the 2 of us. We've had a great time, but it's quite clear that we needed a 3rd driver for this exercise.
Yes, I'm thinking there's no way that even someone of your talent can drive 2 cars.
You're too kind.
Who have you got?
Well, these are my thoughts, okay? The cars are very loud and quite physical, so you need someone that can skid, do all the driving, but you need noise and volume above a Ferrari V12.
I thought I was the driver, though.
I know.
Well, I know.
I know, Jeremy. I mean, I'd love to do it.
That's the
I'm
3rd
just
driver.
too busy at the moment.
So what?
I'm sorry?
No.
I'm sorry, Jesus. All the best.
We got Tiff. We got
Chris Harris. I got the call. I can't wait to come out. What's Marino doing here?
Hi, Tiff. Lovely to see you.
Hello, Marino.
I thought I was the driver, though, but
Yeah,
anyway,
I thought
I'm
I was
rolling
driving.
with
It's
it.
you and me.
We're not going to have one of these hormonal arguments about who's fastest. We're here to celebrate these vehicles. You'll need to go make some noise and do what you do.
I haven't driven. I still haven't driven. Look.
Let's leave him to make noise. We got Tiff. You've not driven any of what people are calling the Holy Trinity. I don't really like the phrase, but you've not driven either of the 3 hypercars.
Why do you think I rushed down here, Chris?
I know.
Was it your charming personality I was looking for? No, it was. I don't know how I missed it, but we were off air. I haven't driven any of them. More to the point, I haven't driven around this circuit. Quite a simple circuit to learn. Not any tricky corners, I hope.
No blind crests.
No blind crests.
Big bumps. Or
No, nothing like that. I hope, obviously.
Yes, it's going to be interesting. Well, you're going to have a chance to go out in an Audi A3. Don't think it needed a recall to do your sighting laps. But Marino and I have been driving these things today. So, initial thoughts, because you've spent a bit of time in the Italian one before. The other 2 were new. So don't just tell us your initial thoughts.
My brain took a while to catch up with everything else. They are so savagely fast, all of them. And I thought that straight away I would have a hierarchy of what I wanted, what I could do without, but I need all 3. The moment I'd driven all 3, I'm like, yep, I need them all. And nothing has changed it. Every time I drive one of the cars, I come out and there's another reason that I need it in
He's
my
going to be
life.
like Louis Walsh, isn't he? Won't make his blooming
No,
mind up.
I'm telling
He'll
you,
just, We need your answer now. You have to decide. I'm sorry, you have to decide.
Even a cantankerous old man like you is going to love all of them.
You can't
You
do
are
that.
going to
No, you
love
can't
them.
finish this without making a choice.
I do believe that this is a celebration. I think they are amazing. I've got good knowledge of the three of them. And I think that even you, in Mr. Angry mode, you're going to find something to love about all three.
Steady, don't push that.
I think you might be right.
So what we've got is we've got lots of paddles, which I know you love.
Yes.
We've got hybridity, which I know you love.
Yes.
If one of them was a diesel, that would be perfect, wouldn't it?
But you two love all this high tech, though. You're both all into what's going on underneath. So for me, it's simply the driving pleasure. I don't give a doodly what's underneath and all that whistling.
But that's the brilliance of at least two of them. They don't really foist that technology on you. It's just a pure driving experience. It just so happens that they implement their technology in a way that makes you go even faster and, I think, smile more.
Yeah, there's a savagery that comes from the way that they use the new technology. And it's not there to make them green and warm and lovely. It's just there to extract even more performance from them, which is fantastic.
The even faster only lasts for about 5 laps, and then it's just there's no hybrid at all.
As we'll find out tomorrow, when you've done 5 laps in the P1, you'll need to stop.
Okay.
Because it's physical. It's
not.
not.
The smile's so big because my neck muscles have gone.
Yeah, it's not like doing 5 laps in a GT3, is it?
You drive it and you become completely in the moment, and it's not until you back off, you go, whew, that just happened. It's amazing. It's just savage. That's the word.
But it is quite a daunting track, isn't it, for these cars? It's a pretty serious
You'll soon
test.
find out.
It's a mega track. You're going to love it. So I'm sure you're going to have lots to say
no
about
track limit, no going off track limits. I know what you're like. You'll be out in the car park and back on again, tyres smoking.
As long as I've got one part of one of my tyres within the white line, that meets FIA regs. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah, it's there to be used. Why wouldn't you use it?
I'll be checking you.
Okay, I know you will. I can't wait to get out there on the track. So we'll probably have ourselves a 3-lap dash, and we'll chin wag and we'll have some fun. It's not an out-and-out race, but it's a chance to explore the cars. And for me, it's a chance to then look back at some video afterwards and see the three of them together, because this isn't going to happen again for us.
So it's early in the proceedings, but how are you going to decide who's driving what?
This is the beauty of it being my gig. I'm going to decide at the last minute who gets what car.
Oh, for goodness sake, Harris,
Are you open to bribes?
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely.
Oh.
What are you telling me about? You know, you've got 7 chainsaws, and man with 7 chainsaws got cash to spare too.
Oh. No, that was only because they got nicked. They got insurance money.
No, it's going to be a privilege. Let's go out and have some fun.
What are you doing at the end of the straight? Up to about 250.
300 in the Ferrari.
Oh, really?
So you basically, the moment it starts to go downhill, you brake.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing the Porsche. I thought I'm too early here.
To be honest, it's amazing to have 3 things that everyone thinks of them in a similar way, but they're so different, such different approaches. But you can completely appreciate every single approach and the idiosyncrasies and the decisions that they've made. It was interesting getting on the throttle, because like, it took about half a lap, I was like, hang on, I'm getting full throttle again, and then went full throttle back.
How much fun is the car?
And I've got the ESP on still. So
yeah, but it's still, you can sense.
Yeah, but that's brilliant.
Tiff got that's for the camera. Me, that's brilliant. The 12C review is all forgotten, I think. Is it all forgotten now?
I think, yeah. That's how this works out. Yeah.
Need all 3 though. Now having driven all 3, you need all 3. I don't know how we're going to make that happen.
The beauty of this process is I'm in control. It's a benign dictatorship, so I get to decide who drives what in this three-car battle. The fast, accurate racing driver gets the fast, accurate Porsche.
Thank you.
I don't know what you are. I suppose you are a lapsed racing driver, aren't you? That means that you get, I know you love McLaren. Yeah. So you can have the Ferrari. And the McLaren obviously is the slower.
You get the car that's virtually sitting on the surface of the road with a huge rear wing up in the air.
Why wouldn't I?
Key's not as pretty as mine.
Guys, seriously, can we just get on with it?
Yeah, I agree. You're going to carry on muttering at me now?
And what was all that about? Serious racing driver.
It's going to be my first launch in a 918. Could be quite interesting, isn't it?
I've never been on quite such a grid before. Harris in the middle of the McLaren, Franchitti on pole, these four-wheel drive Porsche. I reckon that's going to launch pretty well.
So, two-wheel drive McLaren, two-wheel drive Ferrari, four-wheel drive Porsche. I expect the Porsche just go off the line. And then let's see if we can hang on to it.
Whoa! Whoa! Spun up the wheels in second gear!
Well, I was manual there. Oh, they've gone away from me. That's not because of McLaren, that's because of me. Look at these things.
Job one done. Made it in the first corner first. You can see Tiff right behind me. What a view I've got.
I reckon that traction is going to work quite well coming out of all these tight turns. But we'll have to nobble him.
Oh, look, he's clicked his indicator on now. I got to run on Tiff, I'm having you, boy. Oh, I'll take Marino as well then.
I've been mugged. Tiff's got his indicators on. I don't think he really knows how all this works.
He's struggling. I'm going to have him there.
Oh, he's a git. Trouble is, whilst he's got no idea how to dress, he does know how to drive. And of course, he's been at all the laps here. We've hardly got any practice because he's been hogging the cars. I can't stay with this. I've got wheel spin over the crest there.
I've got my low ride height, don't forget, so I'm at a massive advantage. I'm also on a Trofeo R tyre, so I have got the advantage here.
Now, having driven all three over the last couple of days, I need all three. I need them all. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen, but I'm going to make it happen. Oh, monkey's letting us have a wee go here. Lovely.
Oh, that's a bit cheeky. That's a bit cheeky, Marino. Mega.
This is incredible.
Big cresting corner now over the top, down through the roof. Frankitti's got to run on me.
Back in here.
He's coming.
Using all this grip.
Whoa.
Sorry, Tiff.
Okay, maybe I was a bit
Things to do.
No, and Harris as well.
Well, there's not much in it in terms of grunt. That Porsche really does go.
I can't concentrate. I can't believe we're doing this. There is the Porsche 918 ahead of me. There is the McLaren P1 ahead of me. And we're playing with about.
Look at that. I still cannot believe we've got these three cars doing this.
That's outrageous. I've got to do Franchitti again. Otherwise Harris is going to disappear. Oh. I love the brake pedal this Ferrari. It's got just a beautiful brake pedal.
Four-wheel drive.
Off track limits, I'm all over the road.
Did you see that?
I got a bit of a tank slapper on there. I saw him laughing. I'll have him for that. I saw his little face laughing.
I want to do a few slidey bits, don't we?
Power sliding doesn't work now. Marino's going to have another go at Harris.
Oh yes.
He's gone down the outside.
Yes, letting us clear up.
It's just mega. Absolutely mega.
These two nutters behind me. What a view this is. Honestly, I need a visor cam just to show you what I'm seeing.
He's off track limits, Harris. You're worse than all these modern drivers.
Well, I have to say, let's see what happens now when we gas it.
Oh, sparks off the P1. It's so low. We're all doing about 180 miles an hour.
That is just immense.
Comes Tiff as well. Oh, what are these two up to? Can you see how you've got the forward-facing camera? Look at them. Hooligans. Hooligans. These cars are meant to be driven straight and lovely, and it does look quite cool though, doesn't it?
You are a tart. You've no idea how to dress properly. You just... He wants to play you now, does he? Oh.
Twin drift. P1 LaFerrari. Oh, get in there.
I think Marino wants to get involved in this tire smoking oversteer business.
These are the days, boys. Needell in my mirror sideways. Oh yes.
Oh! Oh! God, I'm in heaven!
I can see them!
Wow. What a thing. What an amazing three cars. What an amazing three cars. I don't think I've ever had such a good view in my mirror, ever. My mind's slightly blown after that. I mean, it was hilarious fun. I never thought that I'd get to see those two cars around me. I never thought I'd get to see you.
Circuit.
I know.
That circuit. Did you have that crest before the dip? I don't know the names of the rear wheels lit up in fourth gear. Because you told me to short shift over that crest. And I'm like, whoa.
There was not a bad place to be there. To be in front of the two cars and looking in the mirror and seeing them. But I think probably my favourite was sitting behind you two and just watching you drift in perfect unison. It looked amazing.
I got the feeling at one point that if you'd wanted to in the Porsche, as we were messing around a bit, you could have just gone about half a minute up the racetrack.
Yeah, there's definitely a point where you guys are like right out using all the track sliding. I'm just sitting there going, yeah, come on, boys.
Go and get me one. Okay, I have to ask the question now. You're allowed one to take. What do you have?
Well, it's quite good for me because I've driven them equally in the race. I was in the Ferrari, but I've driven all for the first time, and they're all so awesome. They've almost got the same performance. They're very different to drive. But the Porsche was sort of very solid, a bit more understeer, and felt more instantly confidence-inspiring. You could go and attack, and it wasn't going to bite so much. Ferrari steering is really it's tiny bit of input of steering, and you've got a bit of, and it's alive, and straight away it's almost hyperactive. Then you go out of the McLaren, and the whoosh, and then turbos, and I was just grinning. I couldn't concentrate on driving. I was just smiling, the enjoyment of the sound.
You've forgotten the question I asked you, Tiffany.
You're just
guessing. Come on.
The Porsche lets me down just because you get into small little things, and access to the Porsche was difficult. It's got a horrible little switch for drive, reverse, neutral, which you can't see it. I couldn't live with the Porsche, and you sit upright, and I know. And I know the McLaren is probably the fastest and the most brilliantly designed machine. But if I'm only allowed one, I have have to end up with the Ferrari.
He's gone with the Fandango.
I have to end up with the Ferrari just because it's heritage and just, I don't know, it's a Ferrari.
Okay, Marino?
I told you on the first day when I drove all three what I thought, and it's not changed. I know a couple of people that have all three, and I see why. You need all three because they do such a similar job on track overall, but they do it so differently, and I get so much joy from each of them. Yeah, I need all three.
No,
so
you can't.
I've got to make it happen.
You can't drive home in 3.
No, you can bring all three to the track and you can do some laps.
If you're the man with the cash, you can have all 3 bought here, drive one, have the other 2 traded.
You said I had to choose one, now you're letting him off.
Well, of course, he's a nice chap. He's
Oh,
been good to me.
goodness.
He turned up on time. Now look, I suppose I have to ask
now
myself
you,
the same
yeah,
question.
you,
Yeah.
And you don't get away as easy.
Every
as
time I know, every time I drive one of them, I discover something else that makes me a bit frothy and excited, and then I think to myself, oh, that changes my opinion about which one I want. So I suppose the really evasive answer is that I want the one I drove last because it's still pungent in my memory. But the McLaren on Trofeo R's round here in high downforce mode, I'll take that with me to my grave. So maybe here that was the one that just did it for me, but actually I'd probably sit closer with him. I just think they're amazing. And the Porsche, you know, the Porsche, when it starts to build grip and you think, this car shouldn't be able to do this. And then the Ferrari, to me, the Ferrari almost feels like driving an old racing car because it's got so much power.
V12, it's got a
It's
V12.
up on its toes and it's like this and it's light and nimble. And somehow, so they've taken the latest technology and created a driving experience like a 1959 Lister.
Perfect.
I think for
Okay,
I think-
maybe it's the Ferrari. I don't know. Look, they
I
just
think being
mega.
here though with the factories, what's been nice for me is watching them all, you know, be in their own little spaces, but watching them appreciate what their competition
And they
have
sneak
done.
over, they
Yeah,
sneak
they're
over and look at the other
sneaking
car.
and it's almost like watching a school dance where everyone, you know, girls against one goal or one wall, boys are against the other, and then as the night goes on, they all start to mingle a little bit more. And it's been like that. It's been fantastic.
I almost didn't want to like the McLaren because there's been so much hype about it. So I thought I'm going to get in. But it's just an unbelievable machine. I mean, it's just incredible bit of engineering.
So that is the least definitive conclusion you'll ever come across, but
The conclusion is we have no conclusion.
that is one of the best things I've ever done.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We're going to go and have a beer now. Cheers. Cheers. Good day out though. The thing is, do you know what the amazing thing is? I'm planning on giving this up in about 3 weeks' time. This is just a blag. I've just got my mates down to rag your cars around. We're not making a film. There's not even an SD card in there.
Emotional moment. This is amazing. It's one of these things that you have to pinch yourself, don't you?
This is the hero of the test. This thing has been flat out for 3 days.
I'll have to see.
I fortunate having my spine realigned, and now that got to put it out again. I'll be on the Bill Harris chiropractor.